Oh my god, Joe, Boomland, Gloria Seacow with the $85 donation for a SSD and tax and shit. Thank you so much, dude. That is... Wow, thank you so much, man. I don't know what to say. Thank you so much. You really did have to do that. I really appreciate that. Thank you, man. Thank you. Wow. Yeah, I don't know what to say. Thank you so much. Let me get us into game here, guys, because we are getting started here for game number 1 of the semifinals. Let me get a replacement name made here for Trap real quick. And get it in position. Boom. Movie magic. Just like that. We are... Oh, let me make it a little smaller. Get it a little bit more in line. All right, PogChamp. We are in to the action here for the semifinals. As we saw in the bottom right position in the red, it is Solar. The red Zerg, of course, spawning against his opponent up at the top left position in the blue. It is Trap. I believe still on generic Green Wings. I think so. I think he got re-signed. Yeah, thank you so much, Gloria Seacow. Really appreciate you, man. All right, so here is the very standard opener coming out from both sides. Hatchgrass Pool coming out here for the side of Solar as Trap makes his way across with the I can't think of the word. The scouting coming through here. He's going to be able to figure out what is going through the mind of Solar, how he's wanted to open up this series. This best of 3 will be decided very slowly to start things off. Nothing too crazy aggressive to open things up. Here's the drone now going to the third base position. And doesn't look like the probe will be too invested in trying to block this. Not going to be in time at this rate anyway, as the hatchery does come down. Here is Solar coming in with this Overlord, looking to check out the front of the natural base and see what all is going on and position himself for later. Interested to see how Trap is going to play this early game. Of course, Trap, one of the first, and I mean, one of the best players with Stargate. The 3 Oracle build was very popular. Trap did use that. Trap also, of course, has a lot of his own builds that are, you know, a little bit less standard, perhaps, or just... Yeah, I think less standard is the way to put that, right? Just something that is a bit unexpected or a bit different that performed very, very well. Trap just also a scary good player, right? I mean, there's so many things. I think he could do just about anything in this game and have a pretty decent chance of pulling it off, or at least if it's him doing it, rather see it in his hands. Here's that Stargate coming up now for him as part of this opener as his natural base finishes up. Speed is started up here for Solar in his main base, and the Adept in the front will be looking to get some intel. Let's see what he can find. Doesn't look like it'll be too much just yet. Shading back here as he moves forward. And won't even be able to get a drone kill. Gets a single ling, which is, you know, better than a kick to the teeth, but nothing major here. The probe still sticking around, actually. Might be a prime time to get out of here, dude. It's stuff's about to get real creepy. Alright, that was stupid. Here's the Adepts are moving forward here towards this natural base. Might be able to deny that creep tumor, but nah, a little bit too late. Coming in with the shades towards the main. But 2 queens here plus the lings. Oh, wow, he actually commits to it. I'm very surprised at that, actually. 2 workers get taken down. Shading out here now. Speed is close to finishing, but no further tech has been invested in from Solar just yet. Still is keeping a single drone on the extractor there. The natural base receiving some more harassment as third drone does get taken down. 5 in total. Hey, and now here's the Oracle. Okay, this is looking very good. Great momentum here as he picks up an additional 4 with this Oracle. Now heading over to the third base. The Lings are going to be coming over here to try and get something their way, but doesn't look like they'll find too much. The Oracle targeting down the drones very nicely, getting both. 12 in total have fallen. Warpgate research is done as the full wall has to be made in order to keep these Lings out, but with the warp ins available now, should push this back, though that is a lot of surface area on the Cybercore. It's taken very low already. Oh my goodness, a couple more shots. Man, it goes down. Great grab here by Solar. Taking full advantage of that opportunity, getting the maximum surface area and takes it down. Very nice. Gonna have to rebuild that, gonna delay any further Adepts or sentries or anything of the sort from the side of Trap, and he's investing in that Twilight Council and this Warp Prism. So, you know, definitely maybe looking for some, like, just Archon Warpins with that, right? Might be looking to add on, like, a Templar Archives or something behind this, or a Dark Shrine, perhaps. And there indeed is that Templar Archives coming up. So, not going to end up being the biggest deal in the world losing the Cybercore at the end of the day, right? This gas would still be getting banked up. He is obviously still finding ways to spend it, as this Oracle actually comes back in with the other one, getting 3 in total, but loses 1 and almost loses a second as well, taking a lot of damage here. Oh my goodness! Ooh. Oh man, 7 HP left on that. He narrowly avoids death. That Temple Archives is finishing up here soon, and Charge is going to be timing out pretty decently with it, but only 4 gateways here, so only going to have enough to make the initial couple Archons, and that'll be it. And Charge Lot follow-up going to be a bit farther behind. More gateways are getting added on, though, and I don't expect we'll be seeing a third base anytime soon here from Trap. Solar needs to identify what is happening here, and needs to identify how, the lack, really, of a third base for the moment, right, and for the foreseeable future. So taking one now with the third base, taking that one now with these Zealots here to defend. So I was wrong. He was going to be taking this with the Archon drop. Of course, that is what it's for, so I don't really know what I was thinking. Is the point of it is to buy time for this third base. Oracles are coming over here now to defend it, as the Warp Prism still has not yet found its mark. Is currently just with 1 Archon, a second one is getting made. These Lings on the run. They will not be able to stop this third base from coming up for very long. Roaches getting added on for Solar as he prepares to receive this Archon drop. The Lings are taking down the pylon, getting some good damage here. Ooh, here comes the Oracle. Good shots, good damage out of these Zerglings. Doing, yeah, nice work pushing them back, but they were able to pick off that probe all the same. Here the Zealots leading off for those Archons, and just a few Zealots being with this actually makes this pretty decently scarier. Going to be that buffer that these Archons need to allow them to survive even longer, and now another big wave of Warp is going to come through here as this fight has initiated in earnest. The Spore Caller is actually moving to force the Warp Prism to reposition here, as the Zealots on the right-hand side now finally start to get on top of that Queen. More Zealots have arrived here for Trap now as he continues to push forward. 34 armor spy to 42. The Roaches on the bottom start to take down the shields, but now the Warp Prism juggling comes in as the final Queen on the right does go down. More Warpins here from the Warp Prism as he tries to get more reinforcements going to break these Roaches once and for all. The Spore Caller still moving to force this Warp Prism to move is so funny. But it looks like finally there is enough Roaches to really push this back. The 1 Archon gets insta-gibbed when he gets unloaded, and so now this push will end, but the Oracle actually picking up, oh man, should be a lot more. 7 going down, okay, 8 going down, there it goes, a lot better now. 9 in total go down. It is a 2-worker lead when all is said and done in favor of the Blue Protoss, excuse me. But the push is pushed off, and he does not lose the game to that attack. He is now, Solar is now in a very good position. He's getting Roach speed behind this. He has Infestation Pit on the way. He's going to be able to take a 4th hatchery here very soon. Really kind of at his leisure at this point, because Trap is, obviously lost 2 Archons worth. He is producing more back at home for his own third base, which is finishing getting saturated. But I wouldn't have expected him to be going too aggressive right now, chasing these Roaches away. But I wouldn't be expecting too much aggression from him until he adds on a couple more Immortals. But it looks like he likes what he has right now, and is going to be trying to keep this momentum going. Maybe trying to bank that Solar is going to be remaking those drones, to trying to catch him with his larva getting misinvested. Oh, this could be a massive timing. A bunch of Ravagers getting made up right now as this Archon drop heads into the main. Going to start to open up in this mineral line. A lot of Roaches getting diverted away to go and deal with this. 2 drones go down beforehand, though, as it cycles back over that left-hand side. +1 missile attack started up for Solar as he secures better positioning around his natural, adding on Overseer as well. Swarm Hosts are once again going to be the call for him, going to be looking for some harassment opportunities, trying to open up more avenues of attack, right? Going to try and find his way around this as these Archons doing some nice work. Get a Queen before escaping here. Almost able to take down that Warp Prism as these Lucidity Phoenixes saw just about everything here. Knows exactly what is going on tech-wise. Doesn't yet know about the Infestation Pit, I think, but the Swarm Hosts, not a far-fetched assumption, and even has the Oracles already patrolling, looking for any sort of these Nidus Worms coming up, trying to find any avenues in. Overseer, though, is already here. We actually haven't seen a Nidus Network come up yet for the side of Solar, which I find a little interesting. Might be just looking to use these Locusts as part of a frontal assault with the help of these Roach Ravagers, trying to overwhelm him with unexpected DPS and part of a big attack here. Could be very potent. it is a less traditional usage of these swarm hosts, using them a little bit more as a frontal line combat unit here. But they have massive DPS, and if, fighting around them is the general flow of this game when you're not having them going and harass as it is. So just kind of skipping straight to that step here as the Locusts go in. The Archon splash damage is very nice for dealing with this, and plus the shield batteries will be very safe against this first wave as the Revelation tagged up everything. And Trap will go ahead and push this back at 64 to 61 workers as the army trades out here in the front. The swarm hosts do not have their Locusts available as one gets picked off, loses a queen here as well. Trap is pushing forward, and now with Guardian Shield, a reminder, he does have +1 weapons in advantage right now as well. The +1 weapons only 10 seconds away here for Solar as the first couple storms go out. Not the best so far, but the roach count is very, very small. 10 more are coming out now from the production tab, but he's going to have to give up this 4th base. It's looking like, ooh, but the Wave of Locusts is available just in time. Might be able to mount a defense. But it's close. The Oracle is getting involved, trying to snipe down more of those swarm hosts. The Locusts coming forward, but nice job by Trap here, kiting back through the storms, shredding these Locusts before the fight even really begins. And now the queens on the front lines get evaporated by this force. It's an army supply lead for Solar, but so much of it is useless right now because they are in these swarm hosts with no Locust available. Solar is on the high ground, having lost his 4th hatchery, and there's a 4th Nexus well underway for Trap that is looking mighty safe right now. Lack of detection with this army. Now finally we'll start to clear out some of that creep, but that was a weakness. So resolve that pretty quickly. Fleet Beacon on the way here for Solar back at home, for Trap back at home, as he prepares for that next step, which is going to be those carriers and Tempests above this with that mothership, establishing that Sky Toss dominance and constricting Solar out of this game. The army backing off right now, but good force fields, catching a nice chunk of roaches there. +2 weapons is about a quarter of the way done for Trap right now as he continues to back off. Solar smells a little bit of blood in the water, trying to find some of these units on the retreat. Meanwhile, the 4th hatchery is starting to get reestablished for Solar as a Zealot run by coming into this 3rd place at the same time. Locust trying to target down the Nexus, and they will get it. No 4th base for you today, Trap, as the Zealots get into this 3rd base mineral line and will force the rally to get shifted. And looks like the entire army of Solar, in fact, to be backing off here to come and deal with this. They're trying to target down the Nexus, but now we'll just maximize their damage before they die. Tons of Archons with this, making up the majority of this army for Trap as he moves towards the 4th hatchery yet again. 6 Immortals making up the backbone of this as well. This is such a powerful force. 5 High Templars, each of them with at least 1 Storm available. This is such a tough fight for Solar. The Archons doing so much work in the front. The Immortals in the back are just damage-dealing machines against this composition, and a beautiful Storm to top it off as well. Oh my goodness, just cooking the roaches on the right-hand side. The Locust DPS is very good, and it takes down quite a couple of those Archons on the bottom side, but at the end of the day, there's just not enough to break through, and Trap is still on the march. He's going to be able to get more warpins here with this front army, and he is going to be feeling so very good about his chances here in game number 1. Solar very much on the ropes. I don't know that he'll be able to pull a trick like canceling that 4th base a 2nd time in a row, or killing the 4th base, I guess he did, as it wasn't able to get canceled. This Immortal on a bit of a bad rally does get taken out, so a nice grab here for Solar, but still needs to solve the issue of this 4th hatchery. Trying to reestablish it now as the 4th Nexus is nearing completion on the other side for Trap. Solar is advancing, and he's going to try and contest this at the front. The Immortals and Archons spreading out here pretty decently. The Ravager Cocoon not going to be enough to save him. 2 Immortals did die, so he's down to just the 4 from that 6 earlier. And 4 seems much more manageable than 6. It's quick maths there. As the Locusts dive in, get a quick shot onto that Immortal, taking down one of them, now down to just 3. The Nexus getting volleyed down hard, but oh my goodness, it lives! Doesn't have the biles up in time, and the Mothership saves it. My goodness, that is huge. Nice job here by Trap, saving that base narrowly. But the army's on the chase. He's trying to find more of these swarm hosts, trying to maximize the value on the chase as the army retreats. A couple of the Ravagers fan out over to the left-hand side. Not what he wanted as they get killed by the invisible units there. Overseers are coming up to join up with this army. He doesn't have Overlord speed just yet, only now getting that about to 80%. The 4th hatchery will finally finish for the first time in this game for Solar, so he will start to benefit from that 4th hatchery for the first time. Let's see what he can do with increased drone income from that 4th hatchery. And of course the increased larva, very important as well, though less so as he nears max. These Locusts catching a couple Archons, actually. Nice surrounds with the Locusts. That worked out very, very nicely and targeted down even more. The army supply of Trap has been pretty stagnant here. He has not been, it feels like, warping in hardly at all. He's banking up almost 1,200 minerals here, and it seems like we closed our eyes for a moment, and Solar has such a dominant army. It's almost double the army supply. What I initially chalked up to Trap just being, having less supply, but in much more efficient units, somewhere along the way, that got twisted, and Trap just fell farther and farther behind this army supply, banking up so much money here. Where did it all go wrong? Oh my, yeah, Trap falls apart there by the end and gets taken out. Solar moving up to 1-0 in this best of 3 here in the semifinals for the first ESL Pro Tour Cup. My oh my. Trap unable to keep his army producing there, and he was only supply blocked a minute 15, only 13 seconds longer than his opponent. But I mean, take a look at this, guys, just to get it visualized for you here. I'll take you to the in-game graph. This is the army value. Trap goes way down after that engagement here and doesn't come up for almost a full minute. There's a full minute of him just sitting, producing near nothing, and he has money in the bank. I'm really curious what happened there. You know, with the warp-ins, maybe we're just outside of a power field and like he just misclicked, and I don't know. You know, it's very odd. Very, very odd. Trap unable to maintain the consistent production needed to stay alive against Solar and gets taken down, and now finds himself on the ropes, his tournament life on the line as he fights to stay alive and fight for his first opportunity at ESL Pro Tour points. 10 points going to the winner of today's weekly. So these two guys just now, I guess, a map away from potentially claiming a spot there as we head into this game. Let's see what he can do as he spawns to the bottom right-hand side in the red. It is Solar. The Zerg looking very good after that game number 1. And his opponent over here in the top left position in the blue, it is Trap. All right, so Trap will be going for, once again, a very standard opener. Alright guys, so the probe gets in, sees the gas and pool coming up. Oh my, as my mouse will freak out for a moment. Sorry about that. Cybercore on the way behind this as the pool comes up as well. Taking off all the boxes here. Make this a tiny bit smaller. Bigger, somewhere in the middle. Perfect. Alright guys, so this Overlord, gonna see everything that is going on here at the natural base, the natural base of Solar, the site of a little bit of fisticuffs action. Looks like Solar comes out ahead for now, as Trap will just be set to patrol. The Lings will go ahead and chase him away. Third hatchery should be coming in here very soon for Solar if the other games are any indication. And there indeed it goes. The drone on the way to go put that down. Probe is able to escape here and will make his way safely back home. And here's that Adept to go ahead and go get some damage done on the other side. Try and get Trap some much needed intel, as well as, of course, trying to get himself a nice advantage early on in this game if possible, right? Killing this creep tumor would be very nice. Killing any drones and really just getting intel on the drone count of this natural and of how many workers are mining from that gas. Both very, very useful things to know that he's going to be trying to figure out here. Okay, gets 2 kills, 3 kills, okay. Doing well, doing well. Looking for another, gets almost a 4th. And we'll go ahead and back off. Overall, not too shabby a start as the Ling on the other side gets cleaned up as well. All 4 Zerglings that were initially made do get killed. So that's a nice little start for Trap. You know, it doesn't really impact this game too much, but getting those kills with it, forcing more larvae, which is now these next 4 lings, to get invested to make more Zerglings is always nice, right? You are impacting that economy, impacting the drones getting made and when they can make them. The second gateway is coming up as the Stalker repels the Overlord here. Oracle is obviously seen here, but it's mostly just going to be getting revelations, right? Not really too many situations where it will be able to get any damage just on its own. Second Oracle on the way, though. That'll allow it to get something done, as these Adepts actually commit here into the main base. They do get cleaned up pretty quickly. So, not going exactly how Trap was wanting it to there. This Oracle is prepped and getting ready to move across the map now. A lot of Zerglings here to knock on the front door, but once again, a good setup from Trap. Has the Stalker in the wall. Twilight Council and the Robotics Facility coming up here in the main base for Trap as well, though the Robotics is actually here at the Natural. And the second Oracle is now here as well to really drive it home and keep these guys out of harm's way. Here's the Oracle now at the third base, but there is a Spore Crawler, and so he will have to back up. Good defenses here by Solar so far, as both players sit at 41 workers, 4 more at a time getting added on for Solar at the moment, as he continues to build up this economy and keep on improving it. The third base will be now getting secured for Trap at the same time. So a fourth base will be in the mind's eye of Solar here soon. Going to be one of the things he's looking to get in the near future. The Oracle's coming in, getting a couple kills, 2 so far, 3 so far, taking it down to 41, now 43 with that next wave, and we'll quickly catch back up with a lot more drones on the way for Solar. He is very much getting that economy going right now. Almost like 10, 12 workers at a time coming through for him, as these lings continue just to do some light pressure here in the center. Not really much they're going to be able to accomplish in reality, but getting some intel, forcing a response from Trap, it's all well and good. Here's the Warp Prism coming down to the bottom side, bottom left position actually. Going to start some warp ins, and does have that Templar Archives once again, so it is going to be once again Archon drops coming out here from Trap, and last time saw him not able to get too much done with them. Overall, a very nice response from Solar, as he played a very conservative response, getting the roaches in the right position, not overextending into the center of the map, trying to do some weird push, but recognizing the potential for that threat and responding to it accordingly. And this game looking to do somewhat different. He has a Hydralisk Den on the way right now as he's preparing for, well, he doesn't really know what. Might have been worried about potential double Stargate play, going into some heavy Phoenix pressure, or something of that nature, as these Archons right now are going to have a field day with a very minimal amount of roaches available. Already denying some good mining time here at the third base, but not too much more so far, and that's a very nice stroke of luck for Solar, as if these Archons aren't able to do too much, then he will have time to get out more of those roaches and shore up his other lines of defense. These Queens are here at the third base, but they can only be one place at a time. The Lings are here in the center of the map. They are looking for an opportunity, but we'll run head-on into this army of Trap, including an Archon. Not going to have much luck there. Even finding an Immortal, getting some, okay, decent damage, surrounding it, forces some Oracle energy. You know, it's not horrible, but it's not great. Not getting the kills that he's looking for, and this Archon drop is still alive and being a pain in the butt. Here on the other side of the map, Trap looking to mount some serious pressure right on his doorstep. 2 Archons going to be joining the third that is brought by that home force. Ravagers, Hydras, and Queens here to make up the defense for the side of Solar. 66 armor supply to 52, now up to 72 with more on the production tab. Revelation goes down. He's tagging up where the army is, but no Observer to clear out any creep, so he's going to have to fight on creep against this Zerg force that has the high ground, and the Hydras get a good first volley here, taking down that Oracle as Trap moves in here to pressure this next base. All right, he's pressuring forward. Again, no Observers, so this creep is here to stay, and that is very, very nice for Solar. Going to help him majorly in closing out these engagements and, of course, in chasing him down if necessary. As still, so far, Trap is unable to make any progress here. He has a Robotics Bay up on the way back at home. He's continuing to build workers, but so is Solar actually has cut worker production now, sitting at 59. And now is chasing him off creep, but fighting off creep, is that really how he wants to fight this army after all this? I don't think so. And yeah, he will go ahead and let them leave after reaching that point. A fourth hatchery is now coming down for Solar as he successfully defended the third from that initial wave of attack. As the robotics bay finishes up, a second robotics facility is getting added on as well, going to allow him for those Colossi or Disruptors coming out. Colossi have been a rising popularity unit in this matchup. Of course, historically always been a good unit in this matchup, but fell out of favor for a decent amount of time there. But have been recently pretty darn good with the changes to range and all that. But Disruptors, always a solid choice. Presuming you can land the shots, right? If you don't land the shots, you're not going to get the damage, and then you find yourself down shit creek without a paddle. But that will not be the case here, as Trap will be able to continue this pressure very well so far. And getting the Disruptors, going to be able to land those shots. And I say continuing this pressure, it's really just more of a loose contain, right? I think if Solar actually pushed at any one of the edges of this wall that he has, it would break, and Solar would be able to push through and move on to the other side of the map. But it's more the illusion of map control, keeping Solar back, keeping him from doing anything aggressive, and it's buying him time to get these Disruptors out, to get this army into a better technological state, to take on this army of Solar in a head-on engagement. The +1 missile attack is on the way for Solar as these Hydras move out along the bottom left position, or bottom left side of this map. We have a Hive on the way for him as the Lurkers start to get added on. And those Lurkers are so hugely important to this composition of Solar. They can make or break these engagements. And of course, conversely, it is the Disruptors playing that same role here for the side of Trap, as he needs these shots to connect with the Disruptors. 2 shots to kill him. As the first shot is very good to start this off. Second shot, goes a little to the left, and those 2 Lurkers live because of that. So right away, we see the immediate impact of these Purification Novas. They have to be very much on point, and he cannot afford to miss even a single one. The third shot, much better as he finishes killing the hatchery. Not quite, actually. 22 HP. Some Zealots run back forward, but they're going to sacrifice their life for it as he backs off to the high ground. Next shot is now available from these Disruptors, so he's ready to take this on again. An 8-worker lead for Solar, but he's already nearing maxed out, and the army supply still has a lot of room to grow for the side of Trap, as he is currently sitting on... what am I don't know what I'm looking for. He's currently sitting on Unit tab, that's what I'm looking for. 10 Stalkers, 7 Disruptors now, 3 Sentries, 5 Archons. I mean, this is a very, very solid force. A couple of Roaches came over here on a bit of a run-by, but did get cleared up pretty quickly. The other side army looking like a bunch of Roaches and Hydras with that Lurker support. So these Disruptors, I'm really, really liking this choice from Trap. I think so long as he can land these shots, he is going to have full control of this game, though the upgrade advantage for Solar is not insignificant, and it gives these guys a lot of extra DPS, going to give him a lot of extra tools to help him keep Trap back and help him defend this third base. Here he comes now, trying to push forward. Archon's taking a lot of punishment on the front lines. A big blink down to that side as the Revelation reveals the bottom Lurkers. Purification Nova finishes off the second one. Still a lot more up above this as the shots continue to come through. The Immortals getting taken very low, but staying alive for now. Lurkers on that top side in a very nice spread, maximizing the number of shots needed to take it down. Here we go now, trying to defend this third base down on the bottom position. Purification Nova is connecting with these Lurkers, taking them down lower and lower. Eventually we'll be finishing them off here. Transfuse comes through to save it, and it actually does save it for a moment. And it's able to back off a little bit more. 5 more Lurkers getting added on now for Solar, as despite them getting made right there, it doesn't look like Trap will be able to realize that and punish it before it's too late. More shots going through, killing the next 2 Lurkers that are here as part of this engagement. 138 to 129, the army supply as Trap moves forward. Starts up that +2 weapons behind this as his +1 finishes. Armory upgrades are now dead even as Trap is pushing this angle hard. Meanwhile, some reinforcements are skirmishing over here on the other side, but a good Stalker Warpin from Trap will win him that fight. Another Lurker goes down, a blink backwards, letting the Archons be in that front line as Purification Novas go wide. One of these Lurkers very low, but it doesn't look like Trap will be able to finish it just yet. More reinforcements coming through here as he is now sitting at 139 army supply to the 109 of his opponent. Now it is Trap who is maxed out and continuing this pressure as he is outside this 4th base and with a massive concave here, looking to pressure down this hatchery. The Purification Nova right in the center takes down a Lurker and pressures this army even farther back, down to below 60 workers now as a Lurker Cocoon has to get canceled. The base is in the orange. There's some Zealots actually over here in the mineral line getting even more worker damage here. This is where it's at. getting that damage to really drive home the losses felt on both sides of this 4th and 3rd base so far. Now the hatchery is going to get taken down, so no more larva available from it. Oh, but here comes the fight. The purifications go out in a bit of a panic. They're all clumped up. Oh my goodness, but so many hydras get taken down as Trap stays alive, and we'll be moving on to a game 3. What a game number 2 there. My goodness, a phenomenal, phenomenal series of engagements there. Trap with the Purification Novas getting such good value for them, right? Phenomenal connections time after time, and really great prioritization of what targets where he was targeting with those Purification Novas, right? He was taking down the lurkers, he was focusing down, making sure he committed 2 shots every time he did so, and just continuing to use that to his advantage, and it left him in a very, very good situation. Did I mess up the scores or something? You just wrong. 1-1. Okay. Cool. So yeah, so it is 1-1 right now. The admin asked if semifinal number 2 is happening, so awesome. Awesome, guys. So yeah, game number 3 of this best of 3 will be coming up here very soon. Dadzonays, thank you very much for following. Appreciate ya. Game 3 is going to be on Triton. That'll be the map. And yeah, players are ready. All the casters, of course, are nice and ready. Nobody wanted to miss a second of the action here. Game 3 comes up now. It's going to be on Triton. Let's see who comes out on top. If Trap can continue the momentum from that game number 2 win, or if Solar will be able to bring things back here in game number 3. But all 2 games so far being very, very back and forth. Constant trades happening. The army composition choices, I think, very interesting as well. Haven't seen any use of Vipers or any use of Infestors from the side of Solar. Trap going for really pretty straight up styles, right? Not using too many storms until later on in the game. Been doing going for the disruptors with that composition in that last game. I mean, it's all just going very, very well for him as we look to continue and decide who moves on to the grand finals of the first weekly cup here for the ESL Pro Tour. This, in the bottom right-hand side in the red, is Solar, the Korean Zerg, facing off against the Korean Protoss. Up in the top left-hand side, representing Generic Green Wings, it's Trap. Making a strong showing in game number 2, putting himself on the board and forcing this decider map. Reminder for those of you that don't know the prize distribution for these cups, it is $100, winner takes all. No givebacks, no 50-50s. Winner goes home with $100 in their pocket and 10 ESL Pro League points. Loser goes home with nothing. So the pressure mounts for these guys as they get later in this tournament. They do not want to make all this work for nothing. Of course, do not want to be making an exit here in the round of 4. Want to get this season started off with a W. As the probe gets in here, sees that it is a very standard start. Freaking nameplate, man. It's killing me. Okay, that's better. I'm gonna leave it like that. I'm not gonna worry about it anymore. This probe is still just hanging around, being a bit annoying. Oh man, and it's even worse now. I have to fix it. It has that little white pixel. No, not quite. Come on. Alright, there we go. That's as good as it's going to get. Here we go. The Overlord is coming in now. Going to be figuring out what is going on here. We'll see that it is an Adept first. Stargate opener coming out from Trap. As to be expected here. I think very few times would we ever see Trap do something other than this, unless it's some sort of all-in attack with charge lots or something like that. I don't think there's, yeah, unless it's this or an Archon drop or a Charge Lot drop or a Charge Lot all-in, I think this is every time what we see. I think anything other than this is just, you know, unless it's some weird all-in or some weird thing he's trying, I think it's this Trap will just go with the standard, what he's comfortable with, and I mean, what he's been effective with, right? He's been getting some decent damage with the Oracles. Usually investing in the 2 so far, as we've seen. Gets a single Zerg killing kill, and at least confirms the third base is here and confirms the timing of this creep spread, but won't be able to get too much more so far. The Queen pushing him back. The Overlord on the other side, continuing just to get a little bit more information, as a Phoenix will be the first unit out from this Stargate, and then the Oracle to follow it up. So the Phoenix going to be on Overlord duty almost exclusively, as these Adept Shades heading up to the high ground will not commit. Too many Zerglings there right now. 14 armor supply to 11 with a 4-worker lead, favoring the blue Protoss for the moment, but it's not going to be too big a deal here as Solar finishes saturating his natural base and looks towards that natural here very soon. And this Phoenix will go ahead and make its way across the map. Going to be looking to do some more of the same. Warp Gate finishing up here soon for Trap, as well as that Oracle comes along the left-hand side, just a little bit farther behind this Phoenix, and we'll be grouping up to try and get some damage inflicted. The Phoenix going to try and lift up the Queen and buy some time for the Oracle to get some free kills. Let's see if they can execute well. As this third base comes under fire, there goes the Queen. Good focus fire from the Spore Caller as the Oracle takes down 2, 3, but won't get any more. 3 going down before he has to back off. Not great, not terrible. You know, most importantly, keeps everything alive and will be able to go for something similar again, and now has a second Oracle as well as a second Stargate coming up. So this time it is going to be that double Stargate play that I had speculated about in that first game, and I am really, really excited about this. It's going to be double Stargate Phoenix coming out from the side of Trap, and it gives just so much map control and so much potential for harassment. It can be very, very powerful as the Oracle continues harassing, but actually overstays a little bit too long, and its wings melt and he falls into the ocean, troubling to his doom. And the Lings continue to pressure here at the front, going to be delaying any potential third base, but a lot of that money getting pumped into double Phoenix production. And as I was saying, these double Phoenixes give such good map control and such powerful options for harassment. Solar, you know, generally the response to this is going to be going for Hydralisk then, and that's the response I expect from Solar here, given how he went for the Corruptors against Battlecruisers earlier. So I'd be interested to see how he responds to this, but that is what I'm expecting from him. And with that Spire, with it being Hydralisks, it will be... Or if it is Hydralisks, he runs the risk of the Phoenixes being able to pick off those Hydras as they grow in number before they reach that critical mass. If it's Corruptors, he can run the risk of not having enough on the ground to win the ground fight and then just getting overwhelmed. So it's a very, very tough balancing act here for Solar as he sees these Phoenixes moving across the map. So he now has, you know, full confirmation that it is, you know, multiple Phoenixes getting made at a time here. They are making their way across the map, and they are looking for some carnage, finding one Queen, but when they find one, they find more, and the rest of them are here for the defense. Pushing these Phoenixes away as more continue to get produced, and still no tech has been added on for Solar to really respond to this directly. It's so far just Queens for the defense. And Queens are great, but Queens are very slow and cannot be in all these places at once. 6 drones going down, 7 drones going down, and this is really the power of these Phoenixes, is they're able to just go into these mineral lines, and despite there being a Spore Caller there, despite there being a Queen there as well, just finding guaranteed damage and not even taking too much damage for it here, right? Only a single one looks even remotely damaged as part of this flock. A couple of Queens, actually a fair amount of Queens, are here in the center of the map, going to be keeping those Phoenixes at bay, as they're looking to establish a kind of a creep highway here in the center. Might be looking to try and do a big maxed out attack with all his Queens and all his Roaches and Lings through a Nidus Worm or something, or maybe just straight down the middle with a lot of creep. And yeah, it looks like he's just going to be marching straight off creep with all these Queens, and he's going to be putting the defense capabilities of Trap to the test. Stasis Trap coming down. He is going to need all the shield batteries he can get, all the units he can possibly get right now as the Stasis Trap gets procced by the first 4 Zerglings. Great move by Solar, great awareness. As charge is not done, these slow Zealots getting punished and abused on the front lines. There's a bad rally for that Immortal, as man oh man, it gets jumped on. The Phoenixes need to make a move as they come in, trying to take down these Ravagers. Great focus fire on these high priority targets. And a lot of them going down before the Queens even arrive, but now the Queens are here, and that means trouble for Trap. It means these Phoenixes are going to have a much harder time contributing to this fight. The third base getting taken advantage of over here as the shield batteries get taken down, and now the weak spot in the armor is wide open for Solar to be shredding, really. I mean, he has roaches in the middle line denying mining time, but the Phoenix is all coming in, picking up all the Queens right now, but there's not enough on the ground to win the fight otherwise, and not enough here to kill any of these Queens. He's just keeping them out of the fight. Now picking up some more, now starting to pick up these kills. He staggers them a little bit better this time. Needs to pick these up. He needs to finish this fight, but he's warping in at the same time. He just has so much going on, so much to micro this Immortal. Only firing when it can, but not firing for a lot of that fight. Now we'll get jumped on by these Roaches and Ravagers as Solar is looking to close out this game and with it the series. The Trap isn't dead yet. These Phoenixes are putting up as much of a fight as they can, but it's not enough. Solar will take the game and the series, winning 2-1 over his Korean counterpart. GG, well played, and a big congrats to him as he moves on and is our first finalist for the ESL Pro Tour Open Cups here for the Asia server. Big congrats to him. And yeah, he is now in our grand finals. As I'll try and stop stuttering a little bit in order to bring you guys more names and more games coming up here, as our next semifinal is going to be Special versus, let's see who it is. Looks like it's going to be Special versus Time. Okay, so a TVT coming up here, guys. Special versus Time. It should be really fun. I am going to go ahead and throw it to a quick little break screen, guys, while we get that game loaded up and I run a quick ad in order to disable pre-rolls for the rest of this tournament. So thank you guys so much for watching. Again, please do follow the stream, guys, if you haven't. It really does help me out. Thank you so much to everybody who has. And we'll be right back, guys.